They provide you with the best in oil shipping solutions. Contact the Mothership House in Accra. You can also join us live on YouTube and on Facebook on Omanfm and Neto TV GH respectively. You can also listen to us live on Omanfm in Kumasi. I am Nanesi Boateng in our stories. The government of Ghana says the country is in readiness to phase out the usage of fossil fuel as the country transitions to renewable energy in line with the global decarbonization agenda. Speaking at the Eastern Regional Forum for National Energy Transition Plan organized by the Ministry of Energy at Koforidua, the Deputy Minister of Energy, Andrew Ejapamesa, said the government is cognizant of the fact that transition to cleaner energy in the next few years will require substantial resources. In that vein, the paucity of such resources could affect the immediate transition to cleaner energy. Therefore, the government is determined to leverage revenues from indigenous oil and gas resources to develop the cleaner energy the world advocates. He said government will continue to explore and develop oil and gas in a more environmentally friendly manner, enforce the zero flaring policy and carbon capture utilization and storage technology to ensure that petroleum activities do not adversely impact the environment. The Deputy Minister of Energy said while Ghana is developing national energy transition plans, the Ministry of Energy has resolved that fossil fuels, particularly natural gas, will continue to be part of Ghana's energy mix. However, strategies will be put in place to increase the shares of renewable energy in medium to long term. In other stories, data obtained from the Ghana Export Promotion Authority (GEPA) indicates that Russia's invasion of Ukraine and the ensuing threat of full-scale war could cost Ghana more than 337 million cedis in direct export receipt, with another 326 million cedis worth of import likely to be affected. The numbers show that in 2021, the total value of export to Russia, led by cocoa and share directives, hit 52.5 million cedis, while manganese and aluminium ore and concentrates accounted for 285 million Ghana cedis in export to Ukraine. The data shows that cumulative value of export over the past 5 years stands at 155 million cedis and 1.67 billion cedis to Russia and Ukraine respectively. Meanwhile, the total value of import for the period stood at 2.6 billion cedis from Russia and 1.6 billion cedis from Ukraine. The primary import from Russia were ammonium nitrate, predominantly used in the manufacture of fertilizer, as well as semi-processed cereal grain, including wheat. Possible trade sanctions against Russia have heightened concerns of increased food inflation, as commodities like bread has recorded a 50% hike locally over the last 6 months. Russian tanker ships switched off their tracking system at least 33 times last week, according to location data provided to Bloomberg by Windward, a maritime risk consultancy. This tactic, known as going dark or dark activity, has been flagged by the U.S. Treasury as one of several deceptive practices used to evade sanctions in the maritime industry. The data from Windward also shows that ship-to-ship meetings are taking place that could be long enough to transfer cargo to vessel without sanctions, though the frequency of those meetings is still at a normal level. Several Russian tankers reportedly turned off their tracking system 33 times last week, a practice the U.S. says could be used to evade sanctions. The U.S. Treasury has flagged the deceptive maritime tactics as a way to evade sanctions. 9 super yachts, known by Russian oligarchs, also went dark last week. If you just joined us, you're listening to Maritime at Port News. A Maersk-operated container ship lost around 90 containers in heavy weather this week during an eastbound voyage in the North Pacific Ocean, the company has confirmed. Some of the containers lost overboard contain dangerous goods such as lithium batteries. About another 100 containers are collapsed or damaged on deck. The cargo loss on board the MV Dairos took place approximately 1,200 nautical miles from Japan as the ship was traveling from Yetian, China to Seattle, Washington, Maersk said. Cargo consultancy WK Webster reported that as of March 21st, the ship was southwest of the Fox Island, Alaska, with a scheduled arrival in Seattle on March 27th. No injuries have been reported, and the ship is continuing on its voyage. In our final story, the Shanghai Containerized Freight Index hit a new record in the last week of December, up 76% year-on-year and topping 5,000 points for the first time. There were 101 container ships waiting for berth in Los Angeles, Long Beach on Sunday, very close to the peak. Trans-Pacific spot rates quoted for this month are higher than in December, which were higher than in November. Annual contract rates are up sharply in 2022. According to the latest data from Zeneta, Asian US contract rates are up 122% from 2020 pre-COVID, with bids in early negotiations of 2022 contract averaging $5,700 per 40-footer equivalent unit. The overwhelming consensus in this year will remain extremely strong for ocean carriers and extremely expensive for cargo shippers. On this note, to wrap up this morning's edition of Maritime and Port News, Maritime and Port News is proudly sponsored by the Ghana Shippers Authority. They provide you with the best in oil shipping solutions. Contact the Mother Shippers House in Accra. You can also join us live for more Maritime and Port News on YouTube and Facebook on Omanfm, and also tune into Ash FM and listen to Maritime and Port News. I am Nanesi Boateng, producer. Kweko Boji. Have a great day.
Yeah, Dr. George Donfe, or a senior research fellow and the development economist of University of Ghana, Legon. Kasan work or my economic implications, a bright to bodies in the moon, especially your bodies no war a flower no work as if I not a hard pint, and you bid a home uncobo. Now you did come dear, many benefit millionaire at TSA no more, or Katachi, Padmo, Japan. And now what Timmy Fallon was a bonuku to come no. And then Eric Chase so a Oche and as a chi. My